Hi, good morning, everyone. You're welcome to another episode of Zest webinar. My name is Abdul Kudus Oyekomi, and I'll be your host for today. Today we'll be speaking on um, end of year sales strategy to boost sales and reach more customers. And on the call, I have Nimide Falasino and Tochukwu Dike. They'll be our speakers. And Nimide is an accomplished vice president of client experience with over 12 years experience in blending creativity, data-driven strategies, and also, cross-functional leadership. She currently works in Zest, as I said, as a vice president, and she focuses on enhancing brand storytelling and client experience. Nimide has held key leadership roles at companies such as Softcom, Ayo and Red for Africa, where she contributed to the marketing strategy, business development, and corporate communications. She holds a bachelor's degree in agriculture and environmental engineering from OAU, and she's also a certified digital marketer with data analytics from Kellogg's Executive Education. Also on the call is Tochukwu. She's an experienced product manager with over 6 years experience within the fintech industry. She currently works at Zest, where she specializes in payments, product strategy, and customer-centric innovation. Tochukwu has held several roles in management or several management roles, including a role in Hakomi, Connected Analytics, and several others. I want to confirm if everyone on the call can hear me. If you can, kindly drop a message on the chat below so I can confirm that everyone can actually hear me over here. Okay. Yeah, the messages are coming in. Thank you very much for your response. Please kindly say hi to the guys on the team or the call. Hi Nimide and Tochukwu. Just give us a thumbs up or hi. So everyone on the call they can hear
Thank you,
us.
Kudus, and hi, everyone.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you,
very much.
Kudus. Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so this webinar is this webinar. We actually just as this done monthly, and this is as a result of trying to or making sure our partners that use this actually they gain value, and also we give them strategies in order to stay ahead of the competition within the industry. So as I said, we'll be discussing end of year strategies to boost sales and reach more customers. Um, so I'll dive in, in order not to waste, our time. The first question will be that how can a business identify segments within a target audience effectively? I would throw this to um, Nimide. She just give us hints on how businesses can identify segments and target audience. Before you would be able to go into building a strategy to build boost sales and customer or reach customers. You definitely need to understand this customer segments very well. So from your years experience, Nimide, can you give us methods or technique in order to identify segments and target audience in the in order to boost sales or reach customers?
Thanks very much, Kudus. So, I'll just really kind of like try to focus my answers around three key points, or should I say words? The first is the product. Of course, you've designed a product or a service. So in this case, I'll just call whether you're selling or you're rendering services, I'll just call it product, right? For the case of this webinar. So you've designed a product, right? And then you understand what your product needs to do. So you're using your product to then determine who needs that product. Yeah, figuring out your product market fit. Who needs your product? Who needs to be able to, apply your product to their everyday life or to their business life or to their organizational life, to optimize operations, to increase efficiency? Who exactly have you designed for? Based on what your product is or whatever it is you're bringing to the market. What exactly have you designed? And it could even be, it doesn't even need to be tech products. It could be something as simple as biscuits, right? Who is the target audience for the kind of biscuit? And when you're asking yourself those questions, you're asking critical questions like, oh, if I'm selling biscuits, you're thinking about the sugar content, right? So if it's very sugary, has a lot of butter in it, the chocolates in Italy, all of those things, you're already thinking that, okay, who would this really, speak to in terms of consumables? It will speak to the kids, right? If it's something that is a little dry, less sugary, you're thinking of the likes of the crackers in the industry. So you're thinking more of, okay, say mid-20s, mid-30s, the entire spectrum, 40s, 50, So you need to first understand what you've created. When you understand what you've created, then you know who it would speak to. So now we have the product. The product leads the way in terms of who is it speaking to? What am I designing? What have I produced? What am I conceptualizing? Who is it going to speak to? Then next, you have price, right? So you've thought about your product and you've thought about all of the resources that will bring this product to life. And in some way, it has then led to what you think this product is worth. So there's a place where you're figuring out what you think this product is worth, but you're also trying to, appeal to a very large bracket of people. So striking that balance between what you think the product is worth and also what the kind of penetration you want the product to have in the market will sort of like help you land on your pricing strategy. Do you want affordability, which will give you mass purchase? Do you want it to be niche? Do you want it to, do you want it to be luxury? All of those things will determine what your pricing strategy is. The assumption is you'll be able to work with your finance controllers, your finance analyst, whoever it is who is responsible for, working through the financials of your product. Also putting in time, cost to market, production cost, engineering cost, if it's a digital product, infrastructure setup, all of those things will lead. And if you are doing partnerships, like what's the cost of every partnership that I'm acquiring to deliver the service, all of that leads to. Then now think about the place. When you think about the place, you think of your geographical location. And that can lend itself to even the currency that you have. So if you're in Nigeria, are you pricing? Of course, you're pricing in the naira, but are you posturing for international markets? And how do you want to posture? Of course, you want to posture in the most common currency, which is the dollar. You're putting all of those things into place to determine, okay, I'm selling to this particular people, I'm selling in naira. What's the perception of products in this space or my competitors? Or if you're a first entry product business, okay, what do I think the perception is? What's the behavior? What's the habit? And a case in point would be at the time when a popular savings product came into the market. Digitization of savings in that space had not really gone mainstream. Of course, we had these savings accounts, but nobody was pushing that message of, oh, you can save money and you can earn interest and you can lock up your money somewhere, and you can do it all digitally, not colo, not some wooden box. And then someone came into that market. They understood that, okay, the first thing we needed to do is we've designed this product. This is what we want to do. But we then need to then spread the message of, that cultivating a digital saving habit. So it's complementary. You understand that your audience have not really taken to a digital approach to doing things. So beyond just saying, use my product, I'm also sort of like trying to, reinvent their thinking and change their habits. So if you're changing their habits, you're speaking to their pain point. You're touching on, this is what you look like if you're saving for your car. You're saying save for your house. Yeah, you're making their goals look attainable, right? So place is what kind of like drives your approach to achieving those things. Then you then speak of the promotions. People will typically say the 5 P's, but I'll stop at promotions as my fourth P, and I'll say your promotions is encapsulating all your messaging. So you've designed my product. I understand who needs to use my product or who can use my product. So accessibility, you're thinking about, okay, the price based on the market I'm going into, the space that I'm playing at. This is the price point that I'm selling this product. You've talked about the place, so geographical, all of those behavioral things, your demography, everything, just, driving and making you understand the kind of people and the way they will then adopt your product, what you need to say to them, how you need to connect to them. And then you then have your promotions, which is then all those things that you said, just being able to then write them in simple terms that your audience can understand. So for your end of year sales strategy, you have a business that you've been running since. You've probably, maintained a level of, stability. Or, I mean, of course, if you're in Nigeria, you're thinking of all of the fluctuations and how it has affected your price. So then you come to the end of your strategy, you want to, connect to an even larger audience. You want to sell, you want to, create that FOMO, that you want to tap into the December rush, the Ember rush. So you're thinking about all the place you've been coming from in terms of, okay, what sales have I done from the beginning of the year? What have I been saying to people from the beginning of the year? What do I need to say to people from the beginning of the year? Who are the people that have engaged with me so far? How have they behaved? What kind of, if you look at like the type of people that you've engaged with so far, who have like your customers, both your current customers, new customers, people who are still just, figuring things out. You can tell who the type of people who make their purchases faster, right? You have people who come back to you. I speak to a lot of like Instagram vendors. I say some people will text them several times, but they will still not buy. But then some people will just come and just say, how much is this? And then they buy. So you're thinking, okay, maybe I should speak to more of the people who are just, quick to purchase from you. There's no delay and all that. So you use all that to then define, if I want to then sell more, what am I going to say to this type of people? How do I break down my services? How do I ensure that I'm tapping into that rush, that end of the year rush? How do I create FOMO around my product? How do I make it look like if they don't buy now, they've missed out on a golden opportunity? So I think that's it for me.
Thanks, Nimdi. You actually said a lot, quite a lot. And I think one of the things I actually pinpointed and I got from it is, you have to, when you actually get or identify your target audience, you have to know how to promote to them using pricing strategy and several others. I don't know if Tochukwu has to add, to that point before we actually move on to our next point. Tochukwu, do you have any additions? Ways to actually identify segment target audience.
Oh yes, just to add to what she said, so she mentioned about promotion, pricing, all of that. So when you're talking about people and their behaviors and all, there are also similar characteristics among your users. There are different segments in your market, e.g. the biscuit market. There are some people that also like, oh, I like the cracker, but I want it a bit sweet, not too bitter, not too bland, like proper crackers. So you have to like also identify characteristics in your markets, just like so you're able to cater to them and also make sure that, while I have this broad users, I have broad users. So what I should do is that there are similarities in their behaviors. There are some that like sugar. There are some that don't like sugar. How do I cater to that market to ensure that I don't miss out on both sides? So understanding the characteristics of your market and trying to put them together to ensure that you don't miss out helps you to also target your audience effectively. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a very awesome point to add. So this would actually bring us to actually the next question I'll be asking you, Tochukwu. Nimide has actually pointed out the fact that businesses, after you've identified them, need to drive promotion, you have to get them. And there's a saying that what's currently trending now is having personalized marketing strategies. When you know your target audience, you can pinpoint them, their their geolocation, for instance, how would you be able to market to these individuals, using personalized marketing strategies, in order to drive, effective, marketing?
So personalized marketing, I'm going to say mostly email campaigns, right? And also email campaigns, for example, because we're in the digital age, right? And people are always on their phones, they read their emails, they want to know what's going on, they don't want to miss out on anything. So they, instead of missing out, they'll just say, okay, let me just subscribe, and so I don't miss out on anything. Possibly I'll be on the lookout for when something I'm looking for on that website comes up, and they will definitely send an email. So email marketing is like a very effective personalized marketing strategy, right? You're able to talk to your audience, especially since second, email marketing also works. For example, I have cases where I have made a purchase on a website, and because of that purchase I made on that website, they are always like recommending similar products to me via email. And most of the time, I am tempted to actually go back to that website. So like, oh, this is this. I need to actually check this out. And I see myself going to the website, going to skim through to see. And at most of the time, 50% of the time, I end up making a purchase because they understood that, oh, this is something I have purchased before, and that if they send similar things to me via email marketing, that there are higher chances that I will make a purchase again. So that again, email marketing. Then there's certain things. This is not just email marketing. This is like working together with the product and engineering team on this. For example, you go to shop on an e-commerce website. Now you now see, oh, because you purchased this, other people purchase so things, right? So such things will drive the user to say, oh, I can buy this. Or they'll tell you that they upsell to you, you can buy this and this together, because they know that you need this and you need that. So those things are done in collaboration with the marketing, the product, the engineering. Everybody puts hands together to target and personalize these things for the customers. So this enables you to make more sales. You're cross-selling, you're upselling to them, because you've seen that, you've noticed a pattern on your website that people, let's say, that buy Omo, buy Jig. So how about I put them in the combination let's say in a package, and share and sell. I even had a similar experience recently when I tried to make a purchase, and I was like scrolling through the platform, and I saw that, oh, they've made it a package together. Like you can purchase this and they'll break it down for you. Like this is that, this is what you're getting for this, and this. And when I now calculated it, I was like, this is actually cheaper if I purchase this thing one by one, because that means that they have noticed a pattern in the purchase history of their customers, and they're seeing that people that are purchasing this are also purchasing this. So why not just give it to them as a package, and it will bump up sales? And I'm sure that with that, they're able to increase their sales at the end of the day, basically. So personalized content, trying to cross-sell and upsell based on behaviors on your website, based on behaviors by your customers, will help you have some effective personalized strategies.
That's cool. That's cool. I learned one or two from what you had said. But before I actually, pinpoint the points you've made, I don't know if Nimde has an addition to, what Tochukwu had said with regards to, personalized marketing after, you've pinpointed your target audience.
Thanks, Kudos. I mean, just one thing really. I would add that you need to listen to your salespeople, right? So, Tojiko has focused on the digital footprints, which is how they're buying. But you could be, we have businesses here, I'm assuming, who basically implement a very direct human to human approach. So you're listening to your salespeople, you're also listening to your revenue. And I say that to say, of course, the data is there to tell you which of your customers so far have given you like the great throughput in terms of like just your revenue. So you want to first even focus on like your existing customers. You want to make them feel valued. Making them feel valued is also extending some of these packages. So you said, oh, you've been doing this so far. Do you know that if you do this, you do that? So you want to add a bit of value add. I always like to talk about something called the plus one, where you've delivered on your promise, right? So your product is working, you delivered on your promise, your customers are happy. What's that plus one that you're adding that is not, it's not transactional? It's just something that they know that they are getting from you. They won't get it elsewhere. And even just the way you are delivering it. So you focus on your existing customers for that. You listen to your salespeople because they are the ones, talking to these people. They are the ones managing their accounts. And then you also listen to your revenue. Your revenue will tell you the people to first, create or design an exclusive offer for. And then if you do all that and blend it with the digital aspect and the digital footprints of your, mass market and all that, definitely you're onto something good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got those points too. I hope everyone is following and they are jotting down these awesome points Bonnie Media and Tochukwu is giving us. But Tochukwu mentioned she mentioned that part of having products together is a good way to actually personalize. And I could recall that there was a day I got a mobile device on a platform online, and the next thing I saw was you could actually I got an email that I could get a case for that product. I think that's also a good way to businesses have utilized their marketing journey to personalize campaigns or marketing strategies to their target audience. But this actually also going to drive me to the next point, and I'll be directing this question to Nimide. After you've identify your customers, you've been able to run marketing or personalized marketing campaigns or strategies, you've created one. How can you drive urgency? Because we understand how customers think. Most times they won't want to take action immediately, they procrastinate a lot. So how can a business try to encourage their customers to buy their products like immediately, rather than making them procrastinate for a long bit of time? Do you have from experience, what have been proven strategies for this?
Thanks, Kudus. A very valid question, right? Because sometimes you could say all sorts and people will still buy. So you want to make them feel like this is a one in a lifetime opportunity. So one common way, really common. So I don't have any novel additions. I'll just reiterate common solutions that people take advantage of. And one of it is putting like a timestamp on availability. So, I'm doing this, but offer valid while stock lasts. And
Mm.
stock can be anything. We're speaking to physical products here, digital products, services, all of that. So I'm saying that, um, this is only going to run from a particular date and end at a particular date. I'm saying that, if you're buying two, you're getting one free. But I'm saying that it's only valid while stock lasts. I'm saying that, if you do this, we'll add this to this, but only valid while stock lasts. So you're putting that in a sense of urgency to it, and you're just sort of like, and making people know that if they don't do it now, like the time is running and there's a countdown to it. Another way that people sort of like do it is to even, sort of like gamify that behavior that they're trying to see. So you are raking in points. So maybe it's a point system you have deployed. I know Tochukwu mentioned that most of these strategies require some sort of handshake between your team, which is marketing, or client experience or growth, as the case may be, with the product engineer team. So say you've like designed something, the product your engineering team has implemented it. When someone logs in, they see a timer, and then when they see that timer, they know that, if they don't do something, it would time off and they won't be able to take advantage of that. A good example with that, because I like to use just practical examples of PM businesses and platforms that have taken advantage of things, is Grammarly, right? I speak to Grammarly, and if you're a content person here, I mean, you can tell me if you know Grammarly, and this particular example in the comment section. So Grammarly will tell you that, oh, you can put the plugin in your browser. So you're working, taking your corrections. But I noticed that in the past 2 months, they introduced something where they give you 3 pro corrections, right? So when you use that 3 pro corrections, and you see the like just how excellently your content comes out when you take advantage of the first one. So they tell you you have 2 left, just 2 free. The first split the product first into freemium and then subscription based. So they tell you that you have, so out of that subscription, the subscription based one, they then brought in these 3 pro corrections per day. So you use the first one is sweet, use the second one is sweet, use the third.
Hello, Nimide. I think we
One.
lost you.
Sorry,
Okay.
I don't know where you lost me.
You're talking about Grammarly and the
Okay.
free premium service they
Yes.
give.
So Grammarly has a freemium aspect of their platform, but they have the subscription-based aspect. The freemium aspect is obviously based open to everyone, and you just get the just very limited, access, just some fine tune, some spelling correction, and all that. But the pro one gives you like in depth. You can even rewrite an entire paragraph for you. So they've realized that a lot of people just stay on that freemium. Right. He has corrected my text. He has put the punctuation mark where it should be. Why do I need to subscribe? So they did something where they are now then teasing you with what you are missing out from not subscribing in the pro one. And with that, the method that they use to, apply that is something that they call like you get 3 pro edits every day on your document. So when you use the first free pro edit, you realize just how much better your document becomes. You use the second one and it's applied per instance, right? You use the second one, you see fantastic editing, fantastic rearrangement, you sound even more professional. Then you use the third one, then you realize that you've run out of edits. Now, if you're constantly typing and working, what that is doing for you is making you feel like, why don't I just pay for everything? Because look, this thing is better than ChatGPT, and my writing is coming out better, and all that. And then before you know it, you are subscribing to Grammarly, you are paying a monthly premium, and all that. Other examples could be LinkedIn offering you, subscribe, we'll give you 1 month free. After the 1 month free, that during that 1 month, LinkedIn is bombarding you with so much suggestions. You feel like people are clicking on your profile even more, and you don't want that to stop. So in not wanting it to stop, you then continue paying. So those are just like digital, like softwares and software platforms that are sort of like used that time bound or that limited offer thing, or just teasers to make you feel like you're missing out, which I called FOMO in my earlier point. So those are things that you can use. You can make it look like you can just restrict your offering to a very, very limited time frame. Most people do 2 weeks, or you can restrict it quantity based. So you say, I only have 50 free products to give out, or 50 discount applications to give out. So if you're not one of the first 50 to buy, then you miss out on the discount. Or you can say, okay, I want this growth to continue, but see what you're missing if you don't do this. And then when you test it and you see what you're missing, you can get more customers. I hope I've been able to answer your questions, Chris.
Yes, Nibidi, you actually really answered the question. But before we continue, right, Tuchiko, I don't know if you have any additions to driving urgencies in sales campaigns. Just like Nibidi had actually contributed. I don't know if you have any additions.
Oh yes, just one thing actually. So basically, she highlighted fear of missing out and all. But there's also like the part where you also like communicate the benefits of that to them. So most of them, they are quick to act and all, but not all the time that they're quick. Some people are like, why am I going to do this? Must I do it? Why are you disturbing me? At some point, there will be a way you sending marketing emails, so just mark your mail as spam, and from there you start losing it. So, but when you now start, when they see free shipping, for example, buy 5 clothes and get free shipping, and I explain to them the importance of course, if you see free shipping now, seeing the situation around, everybody, most people will jump at that offer because
Mhm.
they understand that the shipping fees might be exorbitant. But now seeing that, oh, if I do this and I get this, these are the benefits I'm getting from doing this. So just communicating that benefit to them, just allowing them to see reasons why they should do that is just an extra layer on that. That's all. Thanks.
Okay, okay. That's an awesome one. That's an awesome one. I think, all the points you've given would actually also drive me to the second question I'll be asking, because we've been dancing around, the lower end of the funnel, how you can, make people sell. But I think we didn't really cover the top of the funnel, where, how can we even reach these guys in the first place? Because this webinar won't exist without us, trying to reach the customers. And before you drive sales, you have to reach them. And this is going to bring the question, which is what are the digital marketing techniques or tactics you could actually use to boost your reach. And I think I'll be sending this to Nimide. I can't really see Tochukwu on the call. I guess she might have dropped off, but I would send this to Nimide. She What are the hints you could give on possible techniques to actually reach these customers, at least before you try to now start, or target audience, I mean, before you now start pulling them down the funnel. Can you give us some hints or tips?
Okay, so if I get your question right, how do you even know what they want before you
Not
start?
what you want, actually. How do you even reach them in the first place?
Okay, how
How
do
do
you?
like, what are the platforms,
Oh, okay, okay.
that for
Okay, so I
an end
mean,
of the year strategy, there must be a platform that is going to be best to actually reach this target audience in the first place.
okay.
So
So
what are the
again,
platforms?
I know that at the beginning we had spoken about, say, the piece that I submitted in my response, where we said the product, the price, the place. So now let's just break down the place a bit more. So if you're
Mm,
selling a physical product, right? If you have a physical like brick and mortar store, so of course you might be a bit limited to your existing brick and mortar setup. But
mm,
you can then get more people to visit. So, I said you focus on your existing patronizers, your customers, and the likes. Then you then want just even more visibility, right? So you think about the digital space. On the digital space, you have, of course, the meta platforms, Facebook, Instagram. You have Thread that is also coming up in terms of just engagement. Of course, you have X, formerly Twitter. You have LinkedIn, depending on what you're selling. All of this, what you're selling sort of drives where you're selling at, right? You have all that. And then you can also take advantage of influencers. But I like to say, I don't like to say influencers, because that word in itself has sort of been bastardized. I like to say people who are gatekeepers, right? Who have access. So when we say someone is a gatekeeper, it means that they control movement in and out of a gate. And that gate in itself can then be a community of say students, a community of decision makers, a community of business owners, a community of eager people that are looking to tap to. So when you have gatekeepers, you have someone that who has such strong influence on that particular community, controlling what that community or influencing what that community engages with. When you have access to those gatekeepers, you'll be able to drive conversion from like a 1 to 1,000 approach, instead of struggling to drive 1 to 1, which can be, I mean, interesting, but also take longer time. And I'll share an example. In my previous place of work, I remember that we had a product that we needed to come like just put in the hands of Uber drivers. And I said, how do we tell every Uber driver? Do we start entering Uber to say, oh, do this, do that? Of course, that didn't make sense. So what we figured out, do Uber drivers have like unions or communities? And we realized that fantastically, they actually have unions. So they have the female union, of Uber drivers where about 600, the things you don't know, when you don't ask the right questions. I didn't know that we had up to 600 female drivers in Lagos alone. So they had this group where they have about 600 female drivers. Then they have the groups for the men, but the men, they were even bigger. So they had factions. They had like the mainland faction, all that. So what we did was we invited the leadership of the communities, like the different factions, and of course the female leadership. We brought them on the table. We said, look, we need you to help us talk to your unions. This is what we have. This is what it will mean for your members. I know that you guys are committed to, advancing the goals of your union. That's why there is a union anyway. You guys are looking after each other, ensuring that you're taking advantage of loans. People that want to, buy their own cars, because some of them, they are getting these cars from car owners. They're not necessarily the owners. So they're looking for higher purchases, deals, and all that. I would say this is what we are offering. This is what our product is. This is the entire bouquet of our product. But we don't want to have to start reaching them one by one. We want you to be our, mouthpiece here. And we were able to successfully convert them. And by converting them, they were then the ones who then relayed our information to that community. And in doing that, we were able to convert en masse. So we're speaking to the decision makers, the gatekeepers, who were then in turn pushing, because we had said that if you help us do this, we'll also give you this in addition. So I sort of like put even like an extra caveat on the proposal, and I said you need to be able to kind of also set time. So we also set like metrics, that sort of thing. So in a sense, they were working for us, right? So they were like our contract staff in a sense. So if you have brick and mortar stores and you recognize people who can help you, spread this word, people whose words are like jewels to a lot of Nigerians, you can work with one or two of them. Those would also drive, and most of them exist in the digital space. So you're running your own promotions, but you're also using the known to bring the unknown. The unknowns are people who have never interacted with your brand. The knowns that are the people who know these new people, and you're using those known people to then bring your new customers to you. And it's mostly has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. And once you get this right, and you're good, of course.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nimede. There's something I want to even add to what you've said, because regarding physical stores, right? And I could recall, researching one day and found out that, from experience, you could also have online campaigns, and you optimize the option, or should I say the conversion, to actually read physical presence in the store. So, for instance, you could run a campaign, and there's going to be a way you could automate your conversion, whereby when someone gets into your store, you could actually, each platform, maybe it's a Google or is a Facebook, automatically knows that this person converted in such a way. Also, it could be calls too for physical stores. And one thing I also want to add again is that in this digital age, I believe most stores or most businesses should have a should I say, an online marketplace, for instance, and they could utilize platforms like Zest for this. In addition, I don't know if Tochukwu would have one or two things to add to what Immediate said.
So my network went off, so I didn't get the question that
Okay,
you
so
asked.
we're just talking about digital marketing tactics businesses can use to actually reach customers for the end of the year sales strategy that we've been talking about.
Okay, so
So,
basically, I'm just going to use. Sorry again, my network. So
okay,
I'm just going to use the popular strategy, which is social media.
okay.
So I'm just going to talk about that, because basically I realized these days, once I just search for something, I now start getting a lot of ads and all about that. particular
Mm.
product, right? So I'm just going to say leverage social media. It's a huge platform, and it's if you use it properly, you'll be able to get the benefits from it. That's just it.
So it's even going to be funny enough that there are some businesses that don't even know that they should be out there utilize digital marketing to actually reach some of their customer base. But now that we've used digital marketing tactics to reach customers, I've started having these customers flocking. So this question goes to you, Tochuku. How can a business utilize the use of CRM to enhance sales strategy, the use of CRMs, customer relationship management platforms, in order to utilize or maximize their sales? Do you have one or two tips you could give with regards to this?
So yeah, CRM tools help you a lot as a business owner, because I always talk about CRM tools. I believe they should be prioritized as much as we're prioritizing social media. Why? Take for instance the day Instagram was down. A lot of vendors panicked. I saw a lot of panic all over Twitter about, oh, my social media account, I can't access it, all those things. So that's why the importance of CRM platforms, you're able to you have your customer information basically. You're able to manage relationships with your customers. You're able to send follow-up mails. You're able to call them, depending on the information you're collecting. Is it their email? Is it their phone number? Regardless of their names, something as easy as just something as small as happy birthday message that you send to your customer on their birthday because you collected that information. Using those things can help you enhance, because it might be funny because I've had an experience where I got a birthday message from a brand, an email from a brand, and I was like, oh, it's been long. I can't even remember. Like sometimes those things trigger the customer. That day I went to their page. I was like, so they still have nice things like this. So even if you're not selling to that person at that moment, CRM tools help you, like top of mind awareness. The customer is at the top of the mind of the customer one way or the other. You're sending them messages, you're sending them personalized messages, like you mentioned earlier. You're talking to them. That CRM tool helps you track your interactions with them. It's also because based on what you have seen, their let's say their history, what they try to do, having their data, basically, it's easier for you to interact with them when you have their data. And that CRM tool will help you say, okay, I have done all these my marketing strategies as well. What did it translate to? Did I make money? What can I do better? How does this translate to naira and kobo for me, basically? So when you look at your CRM and say, I have done all of this, I've done this strategy. Let's say you did A/B testing. Basically, I wanted to try testing with this market. I want to test with this user segment or this customer segment. I want to test with this customer segment that, oh, if I push this ad, let's see how this customer segment will react. And let me push this ad and let's see how this customer segment will react. So having a CRM will make you I will help you make data-driven decisions, because you're seeing it in your CRM that, oh, I did this ad to different customer segments, and this is the result of that ad I did. So by having that, you're able to track, oh, I can say this segment, yes, they like sugar in their biscuit, but if I add salt to the biscuit, they will still like it. Or I make it a little bit spicy based on what I have done so far. The ads I've pushed out, they still like it. So having a CRM tool is very important for you as a business. You're keeping your data, you're able to interact with your customers, you're able to do automated follow-up emails, you're able to send reminders to them, able to track their interaction to help you boost your sales strategy, because you can't say that I'm doing this and I can't see how it's impacting my business. So basically, you're trying to see how everything you have done so far, all the strategies you've put out, social media, email marketing, how has it converted to Naira and Combo? How do I make better decisions from what I have done? So that's what your CRM tool helps you do to enhance your sales strategy.
Yeah, also someone Tochukwu. Yeah, I think one of the things I was able to learn the pinpoints is the fact that you could easily make data driven decisions utilizing a CRM. You could understand how your customers have been engaging with your business over a period of time, and also lifetime value of a customer, for instance, how long the person has been doing business with you, and probably utilize this for, most likely this kind of customer can can be marketed to for the end of the year promotions you're actually doing. But I don't know if Nimidi has any additions to this before we go to the next question.
None
Okay.
from me. Well said, Tochi. Thank you.
Uh, okay, but this is still the next question is going to be thrown to Nimidi, because Tochukwu had talked about utilizing CRM. How does this align with retaining customers? Because you have to, you have done your digital marketing campaigns, your customers, you have been engaging with them. How does this even translate to retaining your customers? Because a certain customer has been engaging with you for a quite long period of time. The lifetime value of that customer. You would want to keep that customer. So, there should be some tactics or hints on how to, do this. Maybe can you please, guide with
To be
this?
fair, I would say that if all of the strategies that have been set so far are implemented, the goal is not just sales for that particular period. The goal in itself is to retain, right? So you've given your existing customers exclusive offers because of their long-term patronage. So they see that they are valued and they stay. You've invited new customers to join in some bounty offer. They've been able to, access it. They see that it's free and fair. They see that your product works or your biscuit is sweet because we're using biscuit a lot, and they see that it's perfect for them. Their kids love it. The wrapper is shining. The package is attractive. The general look, like if it's cool, right? And then they see that you do a lot of exciting campaigns to just get your biscuit and your products top of mind. You're not forgotten. See, if you're doing jingles, your jingles are nice. We have all these jingles that years and years after you're still remembering. I remember that recently in the office, someone just started singing Mr. Biggs is 10, come share with us. And millennials and upcoming older Gen Zs, they remember that. Those are the kind of things that stay and just cause that continuous awareness of your brand in the person's mind, and in a customer's mind. And you've done all these things. Your product rollout is enticing. Your price point is perfect, and then you just understand the pulse of your customer. You align with trends. The end of year is coming. You said, oh, buy this, I'll give you this. So if you look under the crown of your drink, you can get a free drink, which is what a popular beverage brand does, where they'll say check under the crown for a free gift. You get cups, you get free bottles, you get all those things. Why would they go then? And your stability remains consistent, and not just consistent. Even when you're innovating in line with the changing trends, the changing markets. You are listening to your people. You are listening to the data. You are understanding their behavior from their CRM. And most importantly, you are seeing where default. Some people think that when a brand, when you say customer sort of like go on socials to, in quotes, drag a brand, a lot of times we think that maybe that customer was just aggrieved and that's why they are dragging. But if a marketer, and I'm sure Tochi can confirm that the anger did not start from the time when they started tweeting. A lot of times the anger already started brewing, like moments and moments. Just one mistake there that was not properly handled, one problem that was not properly addressed, one communication that was not properly, couched, and all that. The next thing, what you have someone just, ranting on the social media space and just airing their grievances. So it's important that CRM tool, we are using it to just understand if you are noticing any dip in transaction. So if someone has been giving you and purchasing, all of a sudden in the first day you notice that there's a dip. I mean, it could be network, it could be that they are ill. But then the next day you also notice a bit of absence, even if nothing is wrong with them. Just that sense to reach out, to connect, to say, oh, is everything fine? Is also very important. So because we most times forget the human elements. We see people as just faceless people, or we see them as numbers, but there is that human element to it. And this is mostly applicable to service businesses where you are directly conversating with the humans at the helms of business. For mass markets, it's just social media. You are constantly, just in their face where they are. Where are people now? People are on X, people are on Instagram. Are they seeing you consistently? Are they hearing about you? Are they seeing you every corner? Like, are you in their faces? That's how because like the mass market is more dangerous because attention span is so incredible at like all-time low right now. So you need to just constantly be in people's faces. So yeah, I think I've been able to touch on how we apply for business to business, or should I say business to human business, and then how we apply for just mass market business.
Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. Tochukwu, I don't know if you have any additions to this before we go to the final questions to wrap this up.
Not from my end. That's
Okay, okay. Because I think from the beginning of this webinar we've covered a lot. We've talked more about, getting to understand your customer, digital marketing tactics, CRMs to utilize, urgency and a lot. And I actually believe that, if businesses actually follow through to, some of the, points we've actually, talked about today, the high chances of them, hitting their end of the year goals, even before the end of the year, using these strategies. But to wrap this up, I want to ask you, Tochi, and also Nimide. This is like two questions in one. So, what are some success stories you've seen, or some end of year campaigns you've seen that to you actually drove, awesome results? And in that addition to this, what are the trends you are seeing within the, the marketing space? Or should I say the sales space? That is what, or should I say trend that is worth learning or utilizing? Let me throw this to Tochukwu, and then Nimide would give us, the final wrap up of the questions, and we'll end from there. Tochi, can you
okay.
help
So
with
for
this?
the success story, I will say that in e-commerce especially, I'm going to look at where I will say that I've seen a company that has done well with most of their strategies. I will look at Amazon especially their email marketing campaigns, right? Because there's this thing I always see with them, their personalized emails. So long as you have entered Amazon, you must get an email. So most of the time, there's also the part where you abandon your cart and you get an email that, oh, this is it. I think that's also becoming a trend among businesses. It's not just them. I've seen that people have started adopting that trend as well. So I'm answering two questions at the same time. So that has helped. Once you abandon your cart, you get an email from them in 30 minutes. Oh, I see you left something in your cart. And most of the time, typically, maybe you wanted to actually make that purchase and you see that you don't say, let me go and finish it. Let me go and finish, and you end up completing that purchase. So that's a way that's the success story of email marketing. Regardless, if we don't see it as email marketing, like you're selling something, but kind of is like a prompt, like a trigger for you to go and complete that purchase you are making on their website. Then the email marketing part, that when you make a purchase, you now still see emails that say that, oh, you will like this. And you will like this is based on the behavior they've seen among customers like you who have the same characteristics, demographics like you. So you might like this, all those email things, and truly you might actually like them because when you open the mail, you see that, oh, these are things that you're interested in. And typically you'll say, I don't need it now, but it's still top of mind awareness. You already have it at the top of your mind that by the time that, because I purchased this and they sent me this, oh, I might likely purchase this, not now, but maybe later. And you find yourself that when you want to make that purchase, you eventually go back to Amazon, or you go and look for that mail. You skim through your mail to see, oh, this will send me this mail one time. Let me even go and see what is there. And you eventually go back there and you check your mail and you make that purchase. So that's an example of a business I've seen that has used um, all the sales strategies, especially personalized marketing, to drive their sales. They are big on that. And there's also something they are they've adopted as well, which is called a lot of video marketing now. You see a lot of videos everywhere. But the way that the videos are coined is until you see that, oh, it's actually an Amazon video, or they're actually trying to sell something to you, e.g., when they did that Alexa thing with Cardi B. And I was like, it was not later, I was like, at the initial stages, you'll be surprised, like, what's this musician doing here? What's all that noise going on there? But when you now start looking at it, you now realize they're actually selling their business. All these things they're doing the goal is to sell their business. So I've seen a lot of emerging video trends around videos, people using video to sell their products, sell everything they have, not making it a typical sales video. It's no longer a typical sales video. It's like a video that you're just watching to enjoy it, but in the end, they're actually selling something. So that's one trend I have seen in sales and marketing that businesses should be aware of.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tochukwu. I think I'll also align with that because the part of video marketing, I've seen brands actually utilize video marketing well in order to reach and engage their customers. Nimide, I don't know if you have any additions to this before we wrap up the call.
No additions from me, right? No additions. I believe that so all of these strategies are the things that, when properly used at the right time, for the right people, then you can start to see like considerable growth in your business.
Okay. So everyone on the call, if you have any additional questions to throw to the team, Nimide or Tochukwu, you could drop it on the chat or the comment section. So we'll have them answer this, before we have about 3 minutes to go before the end of the webinar. So we'll have them answer. I don't know if anyone on the call has, some questions for both Nimide and Tochukwu, with regards to, end of the year strategies to boost sales and reach more customers. If there are no questions, I'll call this the end of the webinar.
I think someone is typing.
Okay, someone is typing. Yeah, I'll see. Let the questions come in. I don't think it's came in as a question. Okay. In checkmating, Solomon asked this question. Anyone could actually answer, either Nimide or Tochukwu. But he said, in checkmating products faking, how do you do that to control, or how do you do that to control on social media platforms? I think he's trying to say that how do you checkmate product faking on social platforms? How can businesses, manage this? So probably if you have a product, Solomon, I don't know if I'm getting this right, but if you're a brand and there's another person trying to, create fake products around your product, how can you checkmate this? Nimide, I don't know if you'd want to answer that.
Okay.
Or Tochukwu. Yeah.
Okay. So and I'll just say one thing that I think works for people that I've spoken to so far. small businesses, medium enterprises, is also just the validation that other customers get who are like just following you, right? From seeing successful um, usage, or should I say utilization of your product. So essentially what I'm trying to say is testimonials, right? Um, a lot of times we are speaking our own, we are saying that, oh, use this, use that, use that. And sometimes it might be getting the desired effect, but a lot of times people want to even hear from other people who have used. So a good way to sort of like ensure that people recognize that your own product is working, works perfectly, is the quality one, is to encourage user generated content where your customers are encouraged. Either you nudge them, your salespeople nudge them to share their experience using your product on their socials. So brands do this a lot. In fact, there are hashtags that they'll tell you, oh, once if you like this, share your experience using this hashtag, and then you're telling other people to just go on this hashtag, use this hashtag to see people's experience of our product, right? Another way to also bring this to mind, especially for um, software businesses like us at Zest. So, at Zest, apart from being part of a subsidiary like the Stanbic IBTC Holdings, and we're also licensed by the Central Bank of Nigeria. And we have high standards based on like the regulatory controls. So when you go to our website and you see all of those kind of things in our footer, oh, that we are properly regularized, we are part of this holdings PLC, it sort of like brings that sense of trust. Okay, this is a business that I can trust. So if you're operating in that space, it might be nice to sort of like highlight some of your regulatory compliances. For instance, if you go on the Zest website, you'll see that we are PCI DSS compliant, which is like the highest standards in terms of like just payment regularization and all that. We are compliant up to the highest level. So if you use those sort of things, you can then put them on your website, just ensure that people know that you are abiding by regulatory bodies. I think somebody has also dropped a comment to say using SMS code confirmation, drugs on drugs and body and cream. And yes, a number of like skincare products do all that. They say, oh, this is my NAFDAC number, but beyond even saying my NAFDAC number, there are some serial numbers that on a barcode that if you check it, you can see like a certificate of authentication. I know a lot of luxury brands do that. So if you buy, say, designer items like Chanel, like Louis Vuitton, they will tell you that your bag has a code. And if you want to like validate the authenticity of that bag, you just dial that code and it will tell you, oh, this bag was purchased here, this bag was purchased here. It cascades down to other industries apart from the leather industry, cascades into the beauty industry, into the pharmaceutical industry, where there are the barcodes that just verify authentication. So that differentiates you from your competitors who are just pushing things out that are not verified, that are not licensed, that are not regulated, or that have not been certified as good. And I think one last thing I would say is just so that your product's images are not stolen, because you've put in so much effort taking nice visuals of your product, trying to post it on social media. It might be very important that for everything that's going on your social media, you sort of like watermark it. Watermarking is where you like embed your logo on your image. So nobody can, people could still Photoshop, but to a large extent, nobody will be able to just lift your images and then just position it as their own. So once you're watermarking everything, ensuring that your name is just there, and it's top of mind. If anybody is sharing to their story, they are seeing your logo, they are seeing your brand tagline, if possible, that sort of thing. I think it can help like reduce it, because the thing about fraudulent people is that the way we are hardworking, they are also hardworking. So total elimination might not be possible, but at least a reduction where you are doing all these things to ensure that they don't get to you and they don't get to your customers.
Yeah, I think that was a very awesome response to the question. I feel in addition to businesses could actually just verify their accounts, at least to make users or their target audience differentiate between the fake brand and the guys that's the authentic ones and all. Tochiko, I don't know if you have additions to the question. Solomon and Kyle, they had actually, sent in to us on how to, combat, fraudulent people faking the brand online on social accounts. I don't know if you have any tip or tips you could share with us.
One thing I'll just add is regards to having a business account registered in the business name. So this is why it helps you, outside the fact that you're able to manage your finances as a business, having a business account, it will show authenticity of that business, because I am paying to a business account, and should there be issues with my order, with my purchase, I'm able to like walk into the bank and raise an alarm. Basically, I made a purchase, and automatically the bank does not waste time to act in such situations. They just like say, okay, you just block the person's account so the person pays you for that service. So just having a business account, it's some people say it's a tedious process, but it helps build authenticity. And outside you registering, doing the basics of CAC, doing your registration, business registration and all, but that business, the fact that people are know that they're transferring to a business account and not just any random name that they're saying, oh, it's your name. It might not be a random name, but your own name. People don't know your name, but people know your business name. So that just helps give you authenticity, and people will just know that even if somebody is faking your brand somewhere else, people that know your people, when people make such purchase, because I've seen a case on Instagram, to be specific, when someone was complaining that she purchased something from a brand and she made the transfer, it was fake. The person now came out and the owner of the brand didn't even know that was happening. It was people that were tagging her to the post, that people were telling the person calling her out that know that you don't pay to a private account. All purchases that they have done to that business has been paid into the business account bearing the business name. So such things help to differentiate the original and the fake, basically. Yeah.
That's a very nice point you've given, Tochiko. So I don't know if any other person has, question. We've actually run over time now. I think Solomon is typing before we actually close for the webinar. But I just want to point out that everyone on the call, don't forget to actually like our Instagram page, our pages on social account. I'll share links below, and also remember to drop a review of this webinar, which has to the best of our knowledge to make sure most or all our webinars, we improve on them. So your feedback is highly, needed in order to, make these webinars better and give better insights to you. So once Kaede has okay, I think it's not a question, he just wants to thank us a lot for having us, for we having him. Let me drop the links below. Kindly, follow our accounts and give a response, or fill the form below. There's a form, a Google form, to just give feedback on how we could be better. Thanks everyone for having us. I'll call this the end of the webinar. We'll be having you next month for something else. Thank you very much, Nimide. Thank you so much, Tochukwu, for this awesome webinar. And I thank every other person. Goodbye.
Thank you, Kudus, and thank you to the audience.
Thank you, Kudus, and thank you everyone for joining us. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.